Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of programming here because in my quiz, and sometimes this can be a little bit hard to follow because I haven't shown you a finished quiz. But in this quiz, when somebody clicks on the start button, it's going to ask the person their name, and then it's going to say welcome to the quiz or have fun in the quiz, and then it's going to go to the next slide. And then they're going to make a choice. So we're going to write some code to do this. So we're going to write some Visual Basic, which is sort of, if you've done small basic or use Scratch with variables and loops and things like that, then this is going to be very straightforward. Just the commands are slightly different. And the first thing that you're going to have to grapple with is that you won't have the tab which we need to start the coding with, because it doesn't appear at the top here. Normally it's called the developer tab, and on this version of PowerPoint I have to basically click on the round start button at the top and then go to PowerPoint options, and then under popular, the very first one here I've got is show the developer tab in the ribbon, and that's the one I need. So I click on that and click OK. If you've got another version of PowerPoint, just do a search for show developer tab under help, or it's probably under options somewhere there for you to find. So the reason you need the developer tab is because we need to be able to use Visual Basic here. So so that's why you need to get the developer tab up. So remember, try to visualize my plan in your head. Basically, somebody's going to click on this Start Quiz button, which is very straightforward. It's just a rectangle with black background and white writing on, and we're going to just attach some code to this button. So it's clicked on, it asks someone their name, it then says have fun in the quiz, and goes to the very first slide of the quiz. So let's attach some code to do that. So we're going to go to Visual Basic, and I'm just wondering whether I can actually resize this window, or it's yes, it will let me. That's good. So let's see whether I can try and fit this window in so that you can see it a bit better. And okay, so before I do that, so this is what your Visual Basic window will look like, and what you'll notice if you look along the bottom of the screen, you will still have your PowerPoints running, which you can click on to load up, and then you can click on your Visual Basic tab here. So one of the first things that you need to do to basically test whether this works is if we click on PowerPoint, and then when you do a save it as a presentation, but you need to choose PowerPoint enabled, PowerPoint macro enabled presentation, which is, on my one, it's the second one along. It's not template or anything, it's just PowerPoint macro enabled presentation. And then I'll show you later what the difference is between a presentation and a show. So that's one I've chosen, and then I've gone to save my PowerPoint. And so any code that I write will then appear here. So to start writing some code, we need to insert a module, and this is the thing that is going to hold the code that we write. And one of the first things that we're going to do is I'm just going to put a comment in here which says something like variable for name of person. So this comment is something which just reminds us what is going on. It's turned green because the computer is going to completely ignore this, but it's good for human beings to have that written because it explains what the code is. So I'm going to set up a variable to hold the name of the person. So I'm going to call this, maybe I'll just call it name. So the variable, so dim means set up a declared variable. Name is the name of the variable, so that's short for name of person. And then I'm going to say what type of information is going to be stored in this variable, and what's going to be stored in here is string. And you'll remember string from setting up your Access database. So name is going to hold text data in there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the word sub, and this one is going to get name. So I'm just typing in get name, no spaces between the get name. And what this is going to do, just press enter here, show you what happens. So I left a line between dim name a string, and then I typed in the word sub and get name, and pressed enter, and it put the end sub in for me. So what we're setting up here is a subroutine, and basically in the subroutine I'm going to say, well, show a box where somebody has to type in their name. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to say name. Okay, remember name is the thing here. And I'm going to say what I want you to put in name is what you get from showing an input box. Okay, so name equals input box, and then I'm going to use the word prompt. So you can't type any of these in incorrectly, colon and equals. And this is the message that I want to come up in the message box. So I'm just going to say maybe something like type your name here, and then I'm going to close the quotes now, and then I'm going to close the bracket. Okay, so basically I'm saying that name, whatever is going to be stored in there, is going to be taken from an input box, and the input box is going to have a message which says type your name here coming up. And then after that's happened, I'm going to have a message box coming up. So this is very different to an input box, because it's just going to be a message box which comes up, and all this is going to say is it's going to say have fun doing the quiz. Okay, so this is just a message for the user. So have fun doing the quiz, leave a space, close the quotes, and I'm going to add this word name, which is where we're going to store the name of the person in here. So let's see whether this works. So I haven't got anything red. I'm going to click on the save button here. I'm then going to open up my PowerPoint, which already runs, and then I'm going to run this PowerPoint. Click on Start Quiz, and this is the message that came up, which says type your name here. So let me type a name in, any old name here, just for testing purposes. Say OK, and there it says have fun doing the quiz, Tracy, and then it says OK.